This video is about introduction to sequence as a function, part 4. Now for this you have if the first term is equal to 2 minus 3n, which of the sequence is minus 58, b minus 100, c minus 1 minus 110. So now let's begin. Let's start with the a part of the question. You have the n term to be equal to 2 minus 3n. So which value of n was the n term to be equal to minus 58? So we're looking at when the n term is equal to minus 58, what is the value of n? So that is just a question. So that means we're looking for n. So 2 minus 3n is equal to what? Minus 58. Now what we're going to do now is to move this 2 to this other side. You now have minus 3n equal to minus 58 minus 2. So now you have minus 3n equal to minus 60. So divide both sides by minus 3. This minus 3 will cancel out this minus 3. You have n equal to minus 3 divided itself is 1. Minus 3 divided minus 60 is what? 20. So the nth term, so the 20th is the 20th term that will give you minus 58. Now let's solve the b part of the question. Let's solve the b part of the question. Now the b part of the question is the n term is equal to 2 minus 3n. Now look for the value of n when the nth term is equal to minus 100. So we're solving for the value of n where the n term will be equal to minus 100. So we have 2 minus 3n equal to what? Minus 100. So now let's now move this 2 to this other side. You have minus 3n equal to minus 100 minus 2. So minus 3n will now be equal to minus 102. Now divide both sides by minus 3. So minus 3 will cancel minus 3. You have n equal to minus 3 divided itself 1. Minus 3 divide 103. 3 divide minus 10 will give you what? 3 divide 10 will give you 3. Remainder 1. If you put 1 here, it's 4. So it will now give us what? 34. So the nth term is what? 34. Now let's solve for the c part of the question. The c, when the nth term is 2 minus 3n, and we're looking for the value of n when the nth term is equal to minus 110. Now that implies that we're looking for the value of n. So 2 minus 3n is equal to minus 110. So now let's move 2 to this other side. You have minus 3n equal to minus 110 minus 2. So you have minus 3n is equal to minus 112. So divide both sides by minus 3. This will cancel. You have n equal to what? Minus 3 divide itself is 1. Minus 3 divide 1, 1, 2. 3 divide 11. We can say minus cancels minus. So now 3 divide 11 will give us what? Will give us 3, remainder 2, 2. That is 9, remainder 2. This will now be remainder 2. If you put the 2 here, is 22. 3 divide 22 cannot. Just it cannot. So it should just be 7 and half. So 37 and half. So since it is 37 and half, it means that this minus 110 is not, this minus 110 is not the 10 of this sequence. So since we were supposed to have an integer, since we did not have an integer, that is not this is not a 10 in this sequence. It's not a 10 in that sequence. So that implies that it is not part of that sequence. Now let me say 37 times 3, you have 21. This will be 11. So okay, this is over 3, sorry. So it means that minus 110 is not a 10 in this, is not a 10 in this sequence. So since it did not give us an integer, this value is wrong. This is not part of the sequence. So let's go to the next question. The next question, they say if the n term is equal to bracket open 2n plus 1 bracket close times bracket open n minus 2 bracket close, which term of the sequence is 33? So now what we're going to do now is, now we're given the first term to be bracket open 2n plus 1 bracket close times bracket open n minus 2. Now we are asked to find the value of n when the n term is equal to what? 33. So that means we are going to say 2n plus 1 times n minus 2 is equal to what? 33. Now let's open the bracket. Now we're going to use this term here, this expression here, this value here. We use it to multiply the whole of this. So it now means 2n times n minus 2. Now the next one, we use the whole of this, multiply the whole of this again. So we're going to have plus 1 times n minus 2 equal to 33. So that's the way to solve it. So now let's open up the bracket. 2n times n will give us 2n squared. 2n times minus 2 will give us minus 4n, plus 1 times n will give us plus n, plus 1 times minus 2 will give us minus 2 is equal to 33. Now we have 2n squared. Now minus 4n plus n will give you minus 3n minus 2 equal to 33. Now if you move this 33 to the, to move the, okay, let me delete this and this. Now let's move this up. Now I want to move this minus this 33 to this other side. So if you move it to the other side, you have 2n square minus 3n minus 2 minus 33 equal to what? 0. So this will now be 2n square minus 33 minus 3n minus this minus 2 minus 33 will give you minus 35, which is equal to 0. Now this expression we can now solve. Now what are the factors of 2n square? You have 2n and n. What are the factors of minus 37? Now when you multiply with this 2n and n, it will give you minus 7 minus that minus 3n. So we now have plus what? 7 minus 5. So plus 7 times minus 5 will give you minus 35. So 2n times minus 5 will give us what? Minus 10n. Then just like this is just like cross multiplication. This times 6 will give us this. N times plus 7 will give us what? Plus 7n. So when you add this and this, it gives us minus 3n. So now that means we will now use this expression here to replace this. So you have 2n square. Now this minus 3n will be replaced by minus 10n plus 7n minus minus 35, which is equal to 0. So we now replace minus 3n to be minus 10n plus 7n. Now if you look at this, you see that there is a common factor here. The common factor there is 2n. So just say 2n is a common factor. Factor it out. Now if you use 2n to multiply 2n square, you have n. If you use 2n to multiply minus 10n, you have minus what? 5. Now what is common here? What is common here is what? Plus 7n. So plus 7n is common. Now so if we use not plus 7, plus 7n is not common. Sorry. What is common is plus 7 is common here. So if we use plus 7 to divide 7n, we have what? We have n. We use plus 7 to divide minus 35, you have minus 5 equal to what? 0. So this is what we get. So now let's now delete this. Let me see. Let's delete this. So now let's move this up there. So now we have this expression. So when you look now, n minus 5 is common. So let's factor them out. You have n minus 5 Now if you use n minus 5 to divide the whole of this term here, you have 2n. If you also use this n minus 5 to divide plus 7 times n minus 5, you have plus what? 7, which is equal to 0. So that implies that n minus 5 is equal to 0, or 2n plus 7 is equal to 0. So since this times this is equal to 0, it's either this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0, or both is equal to 0. So now, if let's say for this, if n minus 5 is equal to 0, now let's move minus 5 to this other side. You have n is equal to what? 5. Or for this, let's move 7 plus 7 to this other side. You have 2n equal to minus 7. So divide both sides by 2. We have n to be equal to minus 7 all over 2. So since this is not an integer, since n is not an integer here, and is also a negative value, so this is not the solution to this problem. The solution to this problem is n is equal to what? 5, because 5 is an integer and is a positive value. So now implies that the final answer is n is equal to what? 5. So thank you for watching till the end. Have a nice day. Let's also do well to subscribe, like, and share the video.